Hey everyone, Craig Gordon, Vice President of Prevail, and I'm joined by our President, Andrew Stafford.
Good to be here.
Andrew, a lot has kind of occurred over the last 6.5 months. First of all, I can't even believe that we can already say we're halfway through the year.
It's crazy.
From a market and money management perspective, I think it's been a really interesting year.
Yep.
There's been a lot of things that I think predictably we kind of saw coming, but there's also been a lot of things that we didn't really notice. Now, I'm really excited about how our team has kind of navigated this first 6.5 months. But as you start to reflect on all the things that are on people's mind, I mean, we have inflation issues, we've got labor markets. Is there still a concern on the recession, non-recession, trade wars, some other global conflicts? How do you kind of perceive maybe where we're taking, what are our focus points here moving forward? What are still some areas that you think are still important to think about?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting when we look back let's talk the first half of the year. The sentiment out there about how people feel actually didn't relate to the underlying performance of the market. Yeah. And I don't think anybody would have been able to predict the extreme downturn, call it April, May, right, and then the extreme, back up. And so what we're seeing both after, if you go back to COVID, and then this event that just recently happened this year, we're seeing these V types of either downward trends or recoveries that come back up. And I think that's not typical to how the markets generally are moving. So what that really speaks to is, again, this inherent volatility that's built into the markets. And, as we look back, and we talk a lot about volatility is here to stay, right? We had a stat that said something like 40 of the 50 largest volatile intraday swings have happened in the last 10 years. Yeah. That has accelerated, and now it's like 50 of the 50 are in like the last 5 years, right? And so it's amazing. So let's talk about a couple of key things, and then we'll talk about the second half of the year. So, inflation has continued to be, if you listen to the rhetoric, there's a thought process of inflation really, really impacting the markets. It's been coming down. Now, today's read was a slight uptick, but I think we have to look more at the trends versus any one month because there's a lot of noise in the numbers, right? Let's look at the labor markets and things that really matter. Unemployment still is holding steady at 4.1%, which is incredible. I mean, that's incredible. And there's a lot of concern about the future of, are we going to have enough people to do the jobs? And maybe a different topic for a different day. This is where I think AI will really come into play.
Yeah, we've had those conversations.
Yeah, so if we don't have enough people to do the work, but yet we're getting extremely productive with the use of AI and some of the AI tools, it may not be as big of a headwind as we once thought. As we look at a recession, guys, you talked at the beginning of the year, every prognosticator out there, recession's coming. That's dropped, I think, the most recent readings to like 33%, 30% prediction. So can we predict what's going to happen in the second half of the year? No.
Yeah, I don't have a crystal ball.
Nope. Right. Are there things out there that could impact that? Are tariffs still making things uncertain? It seems like it's a little bit more bark than bite because we have these big announcements, there's a reaction, and then what actually comes to play is a little bit less significant. So super happy with our team. Everybody in here is working day and night to make sure that we're well positioned. We don't always get it right. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, but man, it's been a really good year for our investment advisory committee.
I agree, and I think we can truly say that volatility in our world has been an asset class.
It is.
And we've been able to leverage it to the advantage, at least currently through the first half of the year, to our clients' benefit.
Yeah. So if you'd like to learn more about Prevail, please check us out at prevailiws.com.